I have really good news today.
All right.
I am taking a break on the magic with a K, Illuminati, global conspiracy research. I'm getting out of that unstable mental state.
I was going to say, are you burnt out?
Well, it's just getting a little intense right now. I still have one more book to read, but I decided I'm going to take a couple days off just to kind of get my mind back. So I'm still like reading, but I'm doing research on something that's a little bit more relaxing, more mentally stabilizing. And I think it's gonna be a lot better for me. I'm doing research on the JFK assassination.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll be good for your mental health.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not gonna make me a paranoid mess like I already am.
I want to go there. I want to go to Dallas.
And
see the book. What's it called?
The book depository.
Yeah, because I saw a clip the other day of somebody talking about it, and they're like, you get up there, and you look out the window, and you go, "There's no fucking way."
He was a really good shot.
Yeah, people are like,
people always talk about how he was a bad shot. He was actually a pretty good shot. Like for a Marine, he was average, which is like really good for the average of the average.
The civilians.
He was like he could hit like the bullseye 8 out of 10 times from 200 yards away. Pretty good shot.
I actually don't know much about it, so that'll be interesting to get some info from you.
I'm doing some research right now
because I only know, like the surface level conspiracy, or like I know the buzzwords.
I'm doing doing a lot of research into Lee Harvey Oswald's life, which I have not done really, other than like that Stephen King book 11/22/63. That's really the only one,
right?
But yeah, I'm doing like deep dive into that, and it's kind of bleeding into the global conspiracy.
That's
kind of. It depends on like it's kind of. There's so much about JFK assassination stuff. Like it's really hard to kind of like sift through.
That's
all
what
the,
I mean.
The bullshit.
I know
some of it's obvious, and some of it's like you're just. A lot of times they put a name in there, but they don't really tell you like who that person is, where they came from, or what their job is. But like they're just like the key character in all of it, and you're like, but you're not telling me who this is. You're just like you're just throwing names in there.
And I know like what I mean is like I know the grassy knoll, right? That's lookout,
like the other
the other
shooter.
And then what's the woman with the burqa?
Oh, like the
burqa
what do they
woman
call her?
Or something?
Yeah. What do they call her?
Is she filming? Is that why they're so interested in her? She was filming.
I'm trying to remember.
Because
I'll definitely know.
That's what I mean.
In next week, I'll definitely have the answer for you.
Right.
For sure. Because by next week, I'll have done hours and hours of reading.
So, I mean, you could.
But I know she's like a key thing because she was like right there.
You could say. I think it's like babushka.
I was gonna say babushka, but I didn't want to get in trouble.
Babushka.
But I think babushka lady sounds right.
We can agree on, for the little that we already know, Jack Ruby fucked this whole thing.
Oh, Jack.
Right?
Dude, I've already done research on that motherfucker.
That's crazy to me that a United States president was assassinated and it was on camera and in, a busy place, and definitively we don't really know
Magic
how
bullet.
exactly it happened.
We do know. Magic bullet.
It's scary, man.
That's what they say. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me.
Cool. I have a great segue for you.
A segue?
You mentioned
Is
Stephen.
it fast?
Yeah. You mentioned Stephen King, and you mentioned 11/22/63.
Love it.
If you haven't read it, please do.
It's good.
It's incredible.
It's really good.
The show.
Maybe we'll talk about it on our new Patreon
What you reading?
show series.
Yes.
It's just updates, really.
Update,
It's not,
yeah.
not very long.
Yeah, we'll give you some book recommendations or let you know what
shorts, not shorts. It's a series. We'll call it a series. It's a short series, yeah.
But so great book. There's a Hulu series with James Franco on it that does a pretty good job. Unfortunately, it couldn't get all the information in it, but it does pretty good.
Yeah.
But the book's great. But so Stephen King tweeted something. At the time of us recording, like 3 or 4 days ago now, and I love it. And I just wanted to say it to you, and get your opinion on it because I think you could go a direction with this.
Yeah.
So he tweeted, "Hey kids, it's your old buddy Steve King," which sounds so weird to me.
I hate when he calls himself Steve King, but he does that sometimes.
"It's your old buddy Steve King telling you that if they ban a book in your school, haul your ass to the nearest bookstore or library ASAP and find out what they don't want you to read."
Yep. That's the key thing to do. In every library, you have to know what books you can't read, and then you grab those books. Whenever someone says, "Oh, you can't watch this, you can't read this, you're not supposed to know what this is," that's the stuff you go for. You can't go in there. Go in there. I mean, unless it's like they say like don't go in there. Well, hang on, because they could be lying to you if they say it's like poisonous or something. The point is question everything. But trust your gut.
I just think it's really interesting because he is definitely in like the top tier of authors in terms of popularity and sales and all that kind of stuff. And for him to say something that strongly stands, and I totally agree with him.
I don't think it's that strong.
Well, I'm just saying like it's controversial, but not
right. Because
you know what I mean.
Book.
like
yeah.
I don't.
He's basically
it shouldn't be
controversial. He's
controversial.
telling kids to read banned books. Is what he
right.
Yeah, which is like. Read banned books because they're banned because there's a reason that they get banned. Most of the time, it's societal questions that are brought up within the context of the story that makes you question your society, which is like if you run the society, you don't want that because it can cause chaos. But I think like we said this before, just have an open mind with anything you observe and read and ingest, and then just you don't have to believe everything, but it's just have an open mind. Figure out why it's banned.
Yeah, and if you morally disagree with it, then you morally disagree with it.
You're not going to read it again.
Yeah, you're just going to move on.
Yeah, like Animal Farm, I think was banned at one point, and that's like one of the greatest books ever.
I was going to say I don't know if I can't think of anything that I've read that at some point would have been banned. I mean, I've read books as an adult that I wouldn't have read as a kid.
You read Catcher in the Rye? It's so dumb that
I don't
book.
think so.
The fact that book
what
got
does that
banned
get?
is so dumb.
What's the
cursing? Is really all it is.
Oh,
so
Kill a Mockingbird.
Some sexual things, I think, but like for the most part, it's just cursing. Catcher in the Rye is mainly just a guy. Just torturing you with his like bitchy whining and his angst. He's so angsty in Catcher in the Rye. He's so angsty, and you just want to. If you're an adult reading Catcher in the Rye, you want to fucking wring this angsty kid's neck. If you're a kid or a teenager reading it, you're probably like, this relates to me so much because it probably would have. But I read it when I was like 19 or 20,
right?
And I was like, this kid's fucking.
Yeah, you were
annoying.
beyond that.
Oh no, I read this like a few years ago. I was in my early 20s, but either way, I was just like, this is annoying. But then like the last few pages, you're like, oh, now I get it. I get it.
I've read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I think that's recently gotten banned or,
because he helps a black man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why. Like, what else is in that book?
Nothing. I mean...
Is it because you don't want kids to learn about court cases? About how courts work? Or, like, what is the big deal?
I don't know, man.
It's literally a man using the truth to save another man's life. Right. That's what that story is. Like,
and the majority of the people in that book are against them, the court case.
Right.
Like it's like the community versus them.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the community is the bad people. And it as a kid even, it's very obvious that they are the ones in the wrong.
Right.
So it's a good message. You know what I mean?
Adults
like
can be wrong sometimes. That's one thing too.
Yeah, I mean it has good lessons.
Here's the thing. Respect your elders to a degree.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Don't hold elders up to a degree just because they're older than you. Okay?
Right.
Because here's the thing. What if you have like an older brother who's like 3 years older than you? And you're like, oh, I don't respect him. He's only 3 years older than me. Fuck that guy. He's not even like, we're basically the same like age. And it's like, yeah, that's how it is. Like, who cares if they're older than you? Age is just a number.
Right.
So sit the fuck back down. You don't get special treatment unless you like, are handicapped in some way. But like, no one's gonna like go out of their way to help you unless you need it. Like, don't. I guess what I'm saying is like, don't demand things just because.
Yeah, you don't.
Like, I'm your elder. You should help me. And then I go, I'm definitely not helping you now.
Yeah.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe please.
I
Like,
don't know.
come on. Especially like, I don't know.
I just love that tweet because he's just not scared to be like, you guys are so stupid.
Stephen King wrote about children having sex. He's not scared of anything. Check out It by Stephen King. Children have sex in that book. That's the one that should get banned. It's tasteful. I don't know if I should say that.
Moving
now we're on
on.
camera. I feel really awkward saying that on camera now. I have an idea. Let's just start the show.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Mellow Brick Road, everybody. Episode 33. We're getting it. What sport player is famous with the number 33?
Jackie Moon.
There you go. Jackie Moon. It's the Jackie Moon episode, everybody. Wait a second. Like the Will Ferrell movie?
Right?
From Semi-Pro?
Isn't he 33?
I don't remember, but that's...
He is, yes.
Yes, all right. High
The
five
Jackie
for
Moon-
research.
The Jackie Moon episode.
We did it. Thank you so much for joining us on this path today. We have a very exciting episode today. We have a lot to talk about. Not a lot of time. I didn't even start the timer, I just realized, so we're just shooting from the hip at this point.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, other than the JFK research stuff, which unless you have any more questions, we can move past it.
No, I
We can
don't
talk
have
about it.
I
We can
don't
talk
have
about
any
it more
more
later.
questions because I want you to get some information.
Yeah, I need to get more information.
That way you can feed it.
I'm
to
doing
us.
a lot of interesting research on, like, Lee Harvey Oswald, his whole, like, deal. First of all, he's a fucking moron. Guy's
Right.
a waste of space everywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't do anything in America. Fuck America. He's a waste of space in America. He's like, I'm going to go to Russia where the communism rules because that's fucking sick. And then he goes to Russia. He's a waste of space in Russia. No one wants him there. They basically are like, eventually he's like, oh, I'm a waste here too. You know what? I don't trust all this. I thought I'd be over here and be like a KGB, like double agent or something.
Yeah.
And no one seems to give a shit that I'm here. So, you know what? I'm going to go back to America and they're going to treat me like a hero there because I left and I saw through the iron, what do you call it? The
Curtain.
Iron Curtain. I saw
Yeah.
the falsity in communism. I'm full American back and I have all these secrets I'm going to share about the Russians. And then he comes back to America. Not a single goddamn person even knew he was back because no one gave a shit about him.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. I mean, he just was not doing good mentally.
Uh-huh.
He just didn't. I mean, there's just a lot of issues with this guy.
Yeah.
He had a rough home life also.
Yeah. So you'll learn more later, but isn't it interesting
Yeah.
that let's just say he hit the shot. Let's just say he is, the main piece of that puzzle.
Mhm.
The day before, he was a normal guy.
No, he was
No.
not. Not in
I'm
any
not
way.
saying mentally. I'm saying
No. Like,
no.
this was, dude,
There's too much.
there's too much about this. I don't think.
Okay, yeah, you need to
Dude,
research
he could actually be a Manchurian candidate. Like, we need to, like, he could be an MK Ultra
Oh,
sleeper.
shit.
Like, the CIA is, like, definitely, probably, maybe involved in almost everything. So, like, yeah, I have a lot of research left to do. I've only done a little
just
bit of
meant, like,
research on his life.
At some point, he was just a guy walking around. You know what I mean? That's all I mean by it. At some point, he was just a dude.
Aren't we all just dudes walking around?
Exactly.
And then you're saying that, but like,
And
but
then-
the way you're making it sound is like he was a normal dude, and then the next day he was like, "I'm gonna kill the president today."
Well,
And
I
then he
didn't
went
mean
and
it
killed
like
the
that.
president.
I just meant like he thrust himself into history.
You never know what someone's
So
thinking
quickly.
when they pass you on the street, you know?
Right.
Like someone passed him on the street that day.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and
And they said, "Huh, he must be going hunting or something. He's got that big ass
what a-
rifle over his shoulder.
yeah.
Little skinny ass,
What are you doing, country boy?
what did they call him? They used to call him something really fucking dumb.
I don't know.
He used to get beat up a lot.
But he was very
a
small. I mean,
fucking
he's a small
nerd.
guy.
He was a little gangly, I think. He had a weirdly shaped head. His head was so weirdly shaped that people in America, or maybe it was people in Russia, they thought that, oh no, I think it was Americans. They thought that the Russians had actually photoshopped pictures of his head because they didn't believe that someone's head could be shaped like that. Because they thought like they were like making it so you wouldn't know who he was.
Oh god.
But it was actually like, no, he just looks like that.
Yeah, that's just what he looks like. Jesus.
How this is like the 50s or the 60s.
Yeah.
So it's like you're walking around and people are everywhere looking at your picture thinking it's Photoshop and they don't even know what that is.
Yeah, they don't. That's crazy.
Can you imagine Photoshop back then? It would have taken 3 days. So just like, I don't even know. What do you do? How do you like just cut pieces out of magazines and glue them onto another picture? That would take forever.
Or like paint it?
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Because I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, as you can see, we got the cameras going still.
Yeah.
We just had the one camera today.
Yep.
We're still like figuring out exactly where we need to place things.
Mm-hmm. Waiting on
And
some.
as the lead editor on the team, this is easier for me,
Yeah.
and so we're going for it.
Yeah.
I do have some very, very fascinating news.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you all remember the phenom that was Tiger King.
Yes.
Heard of Tiger King? Sound familiar?
We've talked about it on this show, and the listeners know I am not a fan.
Yeah.
So this better be good.
Well, as everybody knows, except for everyone but me and Dakota, Threcold, and Mason, because we wrote a South Park spec script a few years ago where Carol Baskins is a real live tiger disguised as a woman, and she eats her husband because her husband goes missing, right?
In real life.
In real life, her husband goes missing, and no one knows where he goes. No one knows
and
where he was.
he's assumed
Everyone
dead,
thought
right?
that she killed him. Well, he was presumed dead, and everyone was kind of like eyeing her a little bit because it was really weird because he was just gone, and she's like, I have no idea where he went. And you're like, well, you're acting super sus.
And you have a really good way to dispose of a body.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's alive. He lives.
But you're saying at some point
He was missing.
Okay.
He's found.
Really?
He's back.
How long's it been? Since the show came out or
I
something?
guess, yeah. He went missing around the time that her and the Tiger King started to like really like escalate things.
Oh my
He was in Costa Rica. This whole time he was in Costa Rica. He bailed because he was like, I don't want to be part of this whole like shit. This is getting out of control with these tigers. So he just bailed for a while and was just hanging out in Costa Rica. And I think he's actually been back for like a year, but they everyone just found out he's been back. But I think he's been back for about a year now.
Like the family knew?
Yeah. I think he's like back home. But they just no one like announced it or anything. I think he just came back home.
Let's see.
Let's see,
what we can find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the claws are coming out in decades-long feud between Tiger King and Carol Baskin and the daughters of her dead husband.
Eaten alive.
Husband, Don Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
In a statement provided to the Post, this is New York Post, on Friday, Lewis's offspring. Why do we gotta say it like that?
Just say children.
Donna Pettis, Linda Sanchez, Gail Rathbone clapped back at Baskin's stunning claim that he has been found alive and well in Costa Rica. It is simply not true, the daughters declared.
Wait. Did I read false information? Did I just release false information on my own podcast?
But
man?
wait, what I'm understanding now is Carol Baskins. Baskins. She came out and said he's alive. She made the report.
I thought so. I thought that's what it said.
Well, that's weird.
Why?
Why wouldn't the family? Well, I mean,
that was her husband.
I guess, but what does she stand to gain from if it is false? Why would she lie about that?
Oh, yeah, because then we'd be like, where's he at? And
Why
she goes,
would
oh,
she-
he's at the store.
Yeah. Why? He's getting milk. Why would she say it if it wasn't true?
I don't know.
If the family doesn't agree or
I don't know.
doesn't know. Ew. Maybe she's continuing to try and cover herself. Oh no, he's alive.
He's alive, trust me.
He sent me a
Someone needs to go through
postcard.
with a stick and poke through her feces. See if they find any human femurs in there. Because that's probably what you're going to find.
Her claims of alive and well reek of desperation and is a blatant bid to deflect speculation that she may know crucial details about his disappearance.
Wow.
So we kind of are right.
Kind of. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a pretty well thought theory that I made up.
I think
if anyone wants to read that spec script that Dakota Mason and I wrote a few years ago, feel free to DM me or message me any way you can on, mellowbrickroad.podcast@gmail.com, or just, message me on Instagram @Van Windsor. I don't really care. We have submitted it for a contest and we didn't win. And then, like 6 months later, the new season of South Park came out, and one of their episodes looked vaguely familiar. And now I'm not saying anything because Trey Parker, Matt Stone, if they did read it and they took the ideas, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's fucking cool. But
you owe us one appearance. On the podcast.
Here's what I told Dakota. I said, if that's what they did, right? And I mean, that's their episode. Like, they didn't read our script and then make it. But I'm saying, like, if that's what they made, and ours is like vaguely similar, we did a really good job.
You would feel validated.
We did a very good job because that's the whole point of a spec script is you have to write as if you're writing as if it's an actual episode of the show. So you submit a spec script to show that like how to join in. I can join a writing.
You're
team
like-minded
for South Park. Well, like I know how to write for the show.
Right.
I can write the voices for each character. I understand the flow of the dialogue and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's what we were kind of submitting. And it was during Tiger King, so it was during Tiger King and COVID, so it was just perfect. But it's really fun. It's called Tiger Sanctuary. Quick synopsis: Cartman starts his own tiger sanctuary at home, and this is during like all the Zoom calls when that became big. So there's a whole like the cops don't want more than 10 people in a space at once, so they're gonna shoot people. Then there's a lot of Zoom calls, and then there's a whole Tiger King, Carol Baskin, and that doctor. The third guy who was on Tiger King,
right?
Who just got arrested or something.
Yeah,
he's also in the episode, and it's just a big cluster. It was like 2 days of doing nothing but writing.
It sounds great.
Yeah, so if anyone wants, I mean, I'm happy to share. I don't know what how Dakota or Mason feel about it, but it's been years, and if Trey Parker and Matt Stone are listening and they want to read it, shoot me an email. Or
okay.
If someone listening to this knows how to get it to those two, also message me and I'll definitely send it to you. Okay.
I want to pull what I think you're getting, or where you're coming from.
Don't pull too hard.
So, Baskin stated, one of the really exciting things that came out of Tiger King 2, they're making a second one.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Is that they produced a letter from Homeland Security, and it was said that a special agent in charge with the FBI at Homeland Security reached out to the sheriff's detective, George Fernandez. This had to have happened after 2002 because Homeland Security wasn't even around until 2002, whatever.
Right.
She continued, they said, my husband, Don Lewis, is alive and well in Costa Rica. And yet all this drama has been made about me having something to do with the disappearance when Homeland Security has known where he is.
Fucking ate him, dude. I'm telling you, she fed him to the tigers, which is her.
Now that I've read like the kids quote and then reading that after the fact, I'm like,
she's so sus, isn't she?
Sounds like another way to cover your tracks.
She's super suspicious, and she's always going, "Hello, my kittens and cats," and she's always got the fucking cat ears. So that's my theory, is that those are actual cat ears.
They're real, but
she puts like a fake band around them, so it looks like
she just puts a headband.
Mm-hmm. You get it. Yeah, trust me, dude. If you really like look at Tiger King as much as I did, and like sit down and do the research, smoke a few bowls, you will see very clearly that she is the Tiger Queen. Let's just say.
I didn't finish it, so I'm not the one to.
It gets really sad.
Yes.
Yeah, after the suicide, they all realize at the very it escalates even more. And at the very end, they realize that, or one person realizes, not the main people, just one person on the side realizes that this whole thing started because these people were all trying to take care of these big cats.
Mm-hmm.
And during all this fiasco, through all these years of like revenge and fighting around and all that stuff, the only ones that truly suffered were the tigers.
Yeah,
They
what
weren't getting
sucks.
fed, they weren't getting taken care of because they were so worried about their egos and their businesses and like hurting the other person that they completely neglected the animals that they had taken responsibility for, I guess, and charged people money to see.
Probably made a killing.
Oh, there's a scene.
Oh, no pun intended.
There's a scene where a person gets their hand fucking gnawed.
Like actually taken off.
It was
I think
a woman, I believe.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
And she shows it because her hand is fucking missing, or it's like fingers missing. It was,
but I think
they had gruesome.
and they ended up taking it further up.
Yeah,
because they couldn't save stuff.
Oh man,
where is
I'd keep it in a jar. I'd keep all my digits in a jar.
This is in Florida.
Tiger King's in Florida. Yeah, I think her and him are both in Florida. She might be north. He's more south. I think she's more north, maybe north of Florida, but I can't remember exactly. And then the doctor, I think, is even more north.
No, Wynnewood, Oklahoma. Does that sound right?
Is he in? Who's in Oklahoma? Carroll?
Tiger King Park, and formerly the Gerald Wayne Exotic Animal Memorial Park, was an animal park displaying predominantly tigers and other big cats in Wynnewood, Oklahoma.
I've said it once. I've said it twice. I'll say it 1,000,000 times and more. They made a musical about that fucking state. Like, that state's not the best.
I don't know anything about that.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
The musical?
Yeah.
Oklahoma. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a classic musical.
I know that.
You know that
you just said.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very like iconic. That right there is like he's on a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's a big O.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's a Western, I believe.
I would think so. Hey, I have a random fact about Oklahoma.
Sure.
That's the only place I've ever eaten IHOP.
Yeah,
Oklahoma,
you told us the other day.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Here's another fun fact. It's the only state where the what do you call like the shortened version of it? The abbreviation.
Yeah, the abbreviation.
It's actually not okay. Because you're not okay when you're there.
Is it actually okay though?
Yeah, I believe so. Oklahoma. Okay.
But it's not.
But it's not. You have to write not okay. Yeah. So when you go and fill out forms with your address on it in Oklahoma, the zip code box is actually twice as long because you got to put not in there too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's the only state with a 5-letter abbreviation.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
No, that's pretty good. Do you know Oklahoma's the only state with a 5-letter abbreviation? People are like,
what?
Is it? And you're like, yeah, it's NOT.
And you get those grammar notches that go, technically it's 6 if you count the space.
Oh,
and you're like, go fuck yourself,
yeah.
dude. Why don't you go suck a butt?
Why don't you go kiss Carol Baskins?
Ew, she bite your lips off.
Exactly.
Here's another. Let's just go back and forth and just tell headlines we saw. So I saw a thing the other day. Young Thug, the rapper, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, not I guess. I know he's a rapper, but I mean, I guess this is what happened.
Uh-huh.
He was in court, and his co-defendant was sitting next to him, right? And his co-defendant.
Oh my god! I just saw the headline.
Hands him drugs, and like during court, like while they're sitting at the not the stand, but they're sitting at their table.
Somebody that's also being charged.
Yeah.
Okay. For a second, I thought of a lawyer. I was like,
no, it's like
his
co-defendant. I think that's what it's called. And that guy had like weed. I think he had Percocets on him too. And my whole thing is like, how'd you get into court with Percocets? I guess they don't search you.
Are you kidding me?
I'm pretty sure that's what I read.
Oh god, I clicked on TMZ and it's all uppercase with like exclamation points and stuff.
Dude, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, here's the video.
Yep. He just like, does he stand up and hand it to him? Or like, I can't remember how it goes.
Yeah, he's kind of like Young Thug sitting and the guy's just kind of right here and he's just, I mean, they're not even being sneaky.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
immediately get busted is what it says.
It's a court case. It's a court case. So like,
it's being filmed first of all.
Just wait until he's out of the court. Right?
Yeah.
Just like wait and walk. Like, why are you? Is it a legal state? Where did this happen? Do you know?
I don't see it yet. Hold on one second.
It was probably like it might have been California.
And I love that his lawyers like immediately came out and said, "I have nothing to do with this." Of course. How shitty for him.
Yeah, are you kidding me, dude? If I was that lawyer, I would be screaming at that guy, or I would just drop him at the wayside, like, "Bye, good luck."
What was he in court for?
It's probably drugs.
Yeah, that's what's.
I don't know.
They searched him. They said he had more perks, marijuana, tobacco, and other contraband wrapped in plastic and food seasonings to mask the scent of the weed.
Food seasoning. I've never thought of that for weed masking.
Oh,
That's really smart.
Taken to nearby hospital because authorities suspected he had swallowed other drugs in an attempt to conceal them.
Oh, don't. If you have drugs on you and you're afraid to get caught, do not swallow them.
That scares
Just don't. Because here's what happens. If you swallow, like say you have a bunch of weed or a bunch of mushrooms or something, and you get pulled over and you swallow a bunch of mushrooms and like you still get arrested, now you're in prison and you're on mushrooms for 12 hours.
Yikes.
Like, can you imagine being on mushrooms in prison? I can't.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure doing mushrooms puts you in a prison in your own mind, and then you're in a prison in a prison.
I hadn't seen that. That's wild.
Yeah, I think it happened recently. I think I saw it yesterday or this morning.
Yeah,
the article.
I hadn't seen that at all. There was another rapper that was in court, but he was suing Celsius. It's like a seltzer. I don't think it's like alcoholic.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
made like
that.
$90 million because they were like embezzling his portion of it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, like they were keeping money from him.
Celsius was?
Yeah. And he was awarded $90 million.
I ain't mad at that.
That's a good day.
I'd be okay with that.
Good day of pay. But then in the interview, or when he got released, or not released, he wasn't in jail. Like after the decision, he's in front of the courthouse, and he like had the can, and he was drinking it and like showing the. And I was like, wait, I would cut ties unless he had a lot of passion for this, and the team screwed him. But
like it's his idea, like it's his drink.
But it just looked weird because I'm like, dude, didn't they just screw you out? But maybe it has nothing to do with the drink itself. But,
it's interesting. Yeah, good for him, man.
Yeah, that's
good job.
Great.
Way to go. Good lawyers. This episode of the Mellow Brick Road is brought to you by Hockey Player Dental Insurance. Are you tired of being dead weight for your hockey team? Wish you could up your game but not sure how to do it? You should check out Hockey Player Dental Insurance. This dental group ensures that hockey players have all the confidence they need to succeed in each and every match. At HPDI, they know that to play hockey at the elite level, you need to be the most intimidating player on the ice, but that doesn't always require all of your teeth. In fact, a mouthful of ivory can really throw off your balance and weigh you down during a match. That's why Dr. Gaps has dedicated his practice to elevating the careers of hundreds of pro hockey players. Dr. Gaps has created a thorough evaluation process that reviews the mouth of each patient to strategize which teeth are holding back your slap shot the most. Once a game plan is made, you and Dr. Gaps will go over the different methods of tooth removal ranging from, quote, proper medical procedure to Wile E. Coyote cartoon contraptions. So go to hockeyplayerdentalinsurance.com today to be the next MVP of your league, and use code BRICK for a free consultation with Dr. Gaps. Make a full game plan completely free today. That's hockeyplayerdentalinsurance.com/BRICK for a free consultation. Thanks for sponsoring the episode, Hockey Player Dental Insurance. Now let's get back to the show.
I have something I'm excited about, but I'm also scared about.
Ooh.
So I have two articles about the same thing, because this is another recent thing. Sounds like we're just kicking articles back.
We are. I think that's what we're doing.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too. That's what we're doing right now.
So, recently, this...
You should do... Everyone listening, take notes. Write down what were the headlines, and then do the... look into the research on your own time. That's your homework, is to take all these and then research them on your own, and then write back to us what you learned, and we'll grade you accordingly. And we're grading on a curve, so...
I just had something pop in my head. What's the song that Jackie Moon's famous for in the movie?
Is it Love You Sexy?
Love You Sexy.
Love Me Sexy?
Love Me Sexy. Something like that. I just think that's funny. I wish we could just play it, but... okay, so recently, this week, they announced The director, I believe it's Anton Fuqua.
Antoine? Is it Antoine?
Antoine.
Antoine?
Antoine?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuqua?
Spell it.
Fuqua. Fuqua?
Fuqua? Fuqua?
Okay,
That's how your name's pronounced.
I butchered both of those.
And it is Love Me Sexy.
Love Me Sexy. Okay.
Yes.
Apologies to this director, but he has been selected to direct a Michael Jackson biopic.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
interesting. It's finally happening.
I know
Michael
it's finally
biopic.
happening. I'm trying to tread lightly because I am a little nervous about it. But I was trying to tell you other things that this guy has done.
Yeah.
So he is finishing up Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington.
He did the Equalizer movies.
So once he's done with that,
I like the first one.
He's gonna start prepping for this movie.
I didn't see the second one, but
this
I
movie
like the first one.
They haven't casted anybody. Literally, the director's tied to it. There's a writer.
Who do you think they're gonna cast? I hope they find someone unknown.
I feel like you have to.
I liked the Jacksons biopic, even though it was. I mean, they showed a little bit of the abuse, but it was not. I mean, they showed like one scene of Michael Jackson going outside as a kid and grabbing a switch, and then you just hear screams. But like that's like an average. That's average though. Like they got like actually like tortured. It'd be like if they did a Tiger. Who's that golf guy?
Woods.
Yeah, Tiger Woods, golf like biopic movie, and they didn't show him as a child, him as a baby with his dad tying his hands to the golf club.
Yeah.
Like you have to show that because like that's such a pivotal part of why he's who he is.
So that's why I pulled up two articles because that one was just kind of announcing it.
Do you know what like time period we're looking at? Is it about molestation or
so let me move to the next article. Yeah. So I really like this website, Screen Rant.
Yeah. Screen Rant's good.
I think they have good info. They have good
Screen Rant. If you have good,
they make YouTube videos.
Yeah, there's YouTube videos are good, and they just make really good articles about entertainment.
I think I just think they do a really really good job, and they're not
they do good interviews.
Swayed one way or anything. Like they just say it as it is. So their article is titled "A Michael Jackson Film Biopic Risk Making the Genre's Biggest Issue Worse." If you go down into the article, the thing they talk about is how complicated the life of these people is and the highs and the lows.
It's like Lee Harvey Oswald.
And you don't pay full, I don't even want to say respect. You don't give them the time because you're shying away from
the
negative.
If you're making a biopic, okay, you don't get respect. You give people the truth.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Okay, actually, you know what? I take that back. Biopic, no. You have to show respect because it's actors. If you want to show like cold hard facts, you make a documentary. To where like you don't no bias, you just show like this is how it is. I don't care what you think of this person. He's actually an asshole. This is how it is. Okay, I don't care. And I guess for the biopic you can do that too. But I feel like when you have actors and it's written like a fiction, kind of fictionalized a little bit, it has to flow. It has to have a rhythm to it, and you can't show everything because it has to fit in like a 2-hour window. And what parts do you choose?
Right.
How do you choose how do you make 2 hours out of someone's entire career, especially Michael Jackson?
Exactly. So like I said, Screen Rant writes amazing articles. You should work for them because everything you just said, they talk about in this article. Like it's really, really, really well said about.
Like, there's two things I know about myself. One, I'm extremely humble, and two, I'm a fucking genius. Go on.
So, they talk about Blonde, which we talked about.
Yeah, I still
haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it.
Marilyn Monroe film.
Ana de Armas.
People, I don't know about critics, but general audience believe that movie has succeeded because it's not entirely accurate.
It's not.
It's not
fictionalized. It's based on a fictionalized book.
Right. And so when you come to Michael Jackson,
Joyce Carol Oates, I believe.
When you come to Michael Jackson, his life wasn't entirely positive. There was so
Ooh.
much controversy, up and down, bad moments,
Hey.
so many things that go along with it. So then you turn to, if we tell that portion of it and really make it a true biopic, do we risk swaying the audience a direction, whether it's good or bad? Do we want them to all hate him by the end of this movie? Do we want to shadow all the bad stuff and people love him even more?
But they don't even. But you almost like erasing the real history.
So you risk,
Do you just ignore the fact that he had a bunch of time with kids?
Right.
Just leave it there.
And even something as simple as hanging the baby over the the railing. Do you show that? I mean, is there?
Do you make a series? But like, here's what you do.
It's going to be 4 hours long.
No. Here's what you do. Michael Jackson biopic series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every episode is 10 years, a decade of his life. You do a decade in an hour.
So 5 episodes? Who's 51?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Or every 5 years. Or just like, what you should do is you need to look at Michael Jackson's career and his life and try to find chapters. Try to find segments that you can, try to find like areas we can go, okay, cut right there, like cookie cut it. Like just somewhere that you can, so you can be like, this is an episode, and then it ends here, and then this is the next episode. And I think that's the best way to do it. If you want to try and get as much information on the screen, you have to do that. And yeah, I mean, because with that, man, you can just get so much more in it. And with TV, you can get kind of more gritty with it. You can get more realistic and more, not actiony, but like just.
I just think
the tension
more developed is what
more
I
developed.
think.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the word.
You don't have to trust that your audience can follow along or whatever. But I did additional reading because I pulled this article the other day. I was like, I know I want to talk about this. So I did more reading on it, and some people were like, what if you don't focus on the music? What if you told the story outside of music? And I went, that'd be pretty cool because
I would love to learn more about his body issues.
Yeah.
As a child, I would love to learn more about just how much he really did. Because like, I don't think if anyone came up to me and they said, man, I wish I had the same life as Michael Jackson, I'd throw them in a loony bin immediately and say, you don't want that.
Yeah, you have no
Same thing as like, I wish I was president of the United States. No, you don't.
No,
you don't want that job. It literally, do you remember Obama? 08, 16. Like,
the before and after pictures?
Yeah. Or just 08 and 12, dude.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, you got gray hair, dude. It's crazy.
He lost all his youth look and stuff.
He still looks fantastic.
He
Michelle,
really
they're
does.
keeping it toit. So like, he had a really, really, really hard life.
The thing I like about that, it sounds a little extreme. Like, let's not talk about the music.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do it, and not do the Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis, which I love both those films.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the Whitney Houston one. That's kind of another big one that's recently come out.
I'm ready for that one.
And there's a lot, like Walk the Line.
Doing a lot of cocaine and prep for that one.
Yeah.
That was I didn't like that joke. I'm sorry.
But I feel like you could do it without showing like concerts. Where he's actually singing a full song.
They need to show the before and after concerts.
Yeah, you could show, and you could have the music.
What does Michael Jackson do after a concert?
Right, you have the music throughout, but you don't necessarily have to tell the music. Because guess what? We know the music stories. Now, we don't know the little, how he made it, how he came up with that sound. But it is a little extreme in that he was a genius. He did all of it, dude.
He was a genius. You cannot, and here's the thing, all geniuses have fucked up things about them.
Yes.
Okay? All of them. So don't go around going, oh, he was a genius, so he was like perfect. No. Geniuses are like the most chaotic forces of nature.
People.
Like, here's the thing with geniuses. You know what geniuses do? They change the world. Geniuses are so dangerous. In the grand scheme of like societal, like, here's the whole thing of like breaking societal norms and stuff. Like, geniuses do that every day.
Right.
That's all they do is change things. And so they have so many, because oh man, genius is just so crazy. So yeah, Michael Jackson, he was a genius musically.
Yes,
genius.
absolutely.
On a
Entertainment,
Beethoven, on a Mozart level of like
absolutely.
child prodigy. That's what Michael Jackson was.
But
We saw him at like 5 years old, dancing and singing on stage like he'd been doing it for decades.
Right.
Like, and he kept doing it for decades.
Not to mention his ability in videos. Like that was not.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
there was good videos before him.
Yeah,
but Michael changed that aspect. Of
and again, let me just say, a lot of controversy about what we're saying. But here's the thing: we're just talking about him.
We're talking about what we know.
Here's the thing
about him:
if he fucked kids, I'll just say it. If he fucked kids, he's also a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius who fucked kids. That's not good.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like you can notice that he is intelligent, but he also fucks kids.
Right.
Which is also like the worst shit you can do.
Again, go do your own research. Right. I didn't watch those documentaries because I didn't need that like negative shadow of them. And so I didn't watch them. I'm almost positive, though, again, do your own research about it. I'm almost positive those people that pushed those documentaries came out and said, this was a money grab.
That's all we don't know. That's
what I'm saying.
We don't know.
I don't know.
I know.
So go look it up.
I'm just covering your tracks.
I'm covering your tracks.
Okay, cool. We're covering each other's tracks.
This
Welcome
path
to the Mellow Brick Road, everybody.
A little bit twisted.
The path is getting a little muddy.
But I do want to say a couple more things about this. They talked about, let's skip the Jackson 5 era. Because that story's been told, like you mentioned.
The Jacksons is, if you haven't seen it, is actually a fantastic
it's called The Jacksons,
biopic. It's
an American Dream.
It's a 5-hour-long movie. That's not an exaggeration. It's 5 hours long. The first hour is Joe Jackson failing at music and like noticing his son's talent, and then the next 4 hours, then like the second hour is like the Jacksons at the talent show, and like they're sort of like getting it, and then they meet Berry Gordy. Right, Motown. Berry Gordy, is that right? They meet him, the head guy at Motown, and then like the next 3 hours are the Jackson 5, and then the last bit is Michael going into his solo career. Like at the very start, he's still young, black. I think he might have had a nose job or two at this point, and I know the Pepsi commercial is in there where he burns his hair.
Yep,
it ends with the reunion. It ends with the Jackson 5 reunion.
You're right, Berry Gordy. Junior. But
okay. And it's a fantastic movie.
It really is.
They play so many good songs. Human Nature is in there. The Human Nature in that movie is so good, and they shot really cool too. If you want another,
I'm not sure I am.
Sorry. Oh, Siri.
Siri, you silly
another
girl.
Super long biopic about a music group, The Temptations. Which is 4 hours, and that movie is so. You know what's funny? I've seen both of those movies. Like as a child, I watched both of those movies.
Yes,
multiple times. Like multiple times. If the Temptations was on that 4 hour movie, I'm watching.
You're stopping to watch.
I'm not. And same thing with Jackson 5. I will skip the first hour of the Joe Jackson stuff because it's just boring. Like I almost said exposition. But once he gets to like the Jackson 5 and they're doing like Dancing Queen in the studio, that's when I like it. And yeah, I don't know. So those are The Temptations, Jackson 5. Just look up those biopics.
So let me ask you this: if, let's say, what did we say, Antoine
Fuqua?
Let's say
Antoine fuck you.
Let's say he decides, I'm going all the way. I am putting every negative, positive, good thing, bad thing, accusation. I'm putting it all. I'm telling the story. He goes all the way in. Is it a good movie? Do you enjoy it? And I know we can't.
Have you ever seen Life of Pi? You ever read the book Life of Pi?
No.
Okay.
This is with the tiger boat.
Yes. Okay. So Life of Pi is a story about I think he's a journalist who goes to, where does he live? I can't remember the Pi where he lives, and he visits him he's an adult, he's middle-aged, and he's saying, I was told by a friend that if I want to hear the most amazing story I've ever told, and to come to you, and he said, what else did she tell you? He said, She also told me that you would give me a reason to believe in God with the story. And he goes, yep, here we go. And it's the story of him on the boat with his family. He's as a child, he was like a really smart, and I can't think of what his actual name was. It was like PI was the beginning, and then I can't think of it, but he got really good. He was a new kid at school, and he was trying to find ways to stand out and, have friends and stuff like that. He needed a skill. And so he got really good at like history, and that didn't work. Got really good at science, that didn't quite work. And then he basically memorized like hundreds and hundreds of numbers in the sequence of pi, 3.14. And he shows it on the classroom board. He like writes 3.14, and he goes like all the way through. He gets like 20 chalkboards and just keeps writing all the way there. And this guy has like a giant book that has like, it's just like pi on the front. It's like all the numbers. And he's like halfway through, and he's like, he's still going. I guess this is crazy. So they start calling him Pi. And he's still a child, and his family, I believe they're moving. He like meets a girl, and she like likes him, and then they're moving. And they have to get on a ship, like a Titanic situation, basically. Ship crashes,
I'll interject.
sinks.
They decided to sell their zoo.
Oh, they have a zoo. That's right.
In India.
Zoo.
And they're moved to Canada.
Canada, that's where he lives. He lives in Canada. That's right. Okay, thank
but
you.
You're
I forgot
on
the zoo.
Yeah, you're...
Yes, so
I haven't seen it.
They own a zoo. I forgot about that part. But anyway, so they, hence the tiger right there. So the boat crashes. He gets on the lifeboat. There's on the lifeboat when it falls, there's him, the tiger, a hyena, excuse me, and an orangutan comes. Like, it's like floating on like a door, and he like, come here, and the orangutan gets on the boat as well.
Is this the movie or the book?
This is both.
Okay.
And and I think there's something else too. But who else is on there?
Keep going.
One of the tiger or the hyena starts like nipping at one of the animals, starts going crazy. Hyenas like eats one of the animals. Tiger eats the hyena. The orangutan or hyena. Oh man, I'm starting to forget. But the hyena, I believe, kills that one animal and an orangutan, and the tiger kills the hyena, and then the boy and the tiger are by themselves, and he makes his own like makeshift raft tied to a rope and like floats like away from the raft, so the tiger has the whole boat. Because he's like, I don't. It's not,
and the tiger's not gonna get the water.
No, they can swim.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, dude, tigers can swim. They're jungle animals, boy.
Okay, so it says an orangutan named Orange Juice.
Yes.
Orange Juice.
Yes.
A 450-pound Bengal tiger.
Yes.
Named Richard Parker.
Richard Parker.
Okay. A spotted hyena and a zebra with a broken leg.
The zebra. Oh, I forgot the zebra gets eaten first. It's very sad. And the whole thing, him and the tiger, they're starving. They're trying to survive. They learn to fish. It's fantastic. He learns how to survive on the water. They're literally like hours away from starving to death. Mm-hmm. Okay. He passes out, wakes up. The boat's against an island, a really strange, magical, majestic looking island. Like it's a miracle he's been saved. He goes on this island. There's like plants and there's vegetables and fruit everywhere, and this water is so like fresh water. It's cool. He can drink it and swim in it, and he can float in it. There's fish everywhere, and it's a paradise. Right. And then he's like, okay, let's camp here for the night. He makes a little bed for himself, and he goes to get a drink of water before bed. He goes to the pool of water where he was before. Hours before in the sun, all the fish are dead. So on this island, during the day, it's a paradise. Okay. It gives you all this food and fresh water, but at night, all the food spoils. Ooh. All the water, it turns to like acid. Like it's you can't live there.
Gotcha.
That's the whole thing. I mean, you can, but you can't.
Where's the tiger?
On the island as well. And they both are like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And then they leave. It's so many like magical things happen.
Right.
And
this sounds great.
It's amazing.
I've never.
He eventually. But anyway, I'm trying to give.
Yeah.
The whole story.
Where's the connection?
All the way to the end. At the very end of the story, he's like, "So is that true? Like, the tiger, the orangutan, zebra?" And he goes, "Well, when I got picked up by the Japanese boat, the police they didn't believe me either. So they told me to either give them the real story or they'll come back and like arrest him or whatever it was or whatever they said.
Right.
And he said then they came back and I told them a different story. I told them there was on the boat there was me. There's people on the boat that he met. He's like this person who had a broken leg. My mother was on the boat, the orangutan, and there was and a cook who was like an asshole. What's his name? He's a very, very famous French actor. It doesn't matter. He's a fat asshole. Anyway, Departee or whatever it is. And there's him, and he tries to, he's trying to eat all the food. He's fucking with everybody. He's just like, we got to get rid of this guy, and he ends up killing the other guy with the broken leg. And then he starts like messing with his mom, and then she fights back. She like punches him or something, and he fucking kills her. The tiger kills him.
Oh.
Pi is the tiger.
Pi is the tiger.
Symbolically, right?
Right.
So basically he tells the whole story again, but without all the animals are actually people. They don't run into that island. All the fantastical stuff is gone. He tells like the quote unquote real story.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, which one is real? It seems like that one is the truth. Which one is the truth? And he goes, it doesn't matter which one is the truth. Which one was a better story?
Ooh.
They're both the same story. They both involve me crashing in a ship, being stranded at sea, losing both my parents and all these animals. I got picked up by the Japanese. I somehow survived. Now I live here in Canada. It's the same story, just a few small things are tweaked.
It's the same beginning and the same end. The boy surviving.
Well, no, the events in the middle are the same too. He just changed the animals, the people into animals
stuff,
and the island. I mean, I can't remember the whole thing, but the whole thing is like they're the same story, but I tweaked a few small details, like the characters. But it's the same story. Which do you believe? That's why I had that idea about. Just so everyone knows, the other day I was telling Trace a theory I had about Sodom and Gomorrah from the Bible, that God destroyed because they were all gay. Or they were all sodomites, which is gay sex, anal sex, I should say.
Gotcha.
And God was like, no, smited them. And I had a theory that it wasn't actually God that did that. It was people that said it was God. As in, like, like when someone like throws a Molotov cocktail at an abortion center and they say, God told me to do that.
Yeah.
Or they shoot a bunch of people and they go, God told me to do that.
Yeah.
It was God's will. What if people just hated anal sex, or they just weren't getting any of it, and they just got really mad and they just killed all these people and pillaged and like destroyed their cities, and then they were like, God told us to do that, and then some fucking dickhead with a notebook was like, write that down.
Yeah.
Write that down. That's what God did, huh? But I don't know. That's just a theory.
Isn't that what?
Because people do that all the time. They go, God told me to do this.
Isn't that what Son of Sam was doing?
Yeah.
He was like, but I don't think it was God.
The dog.
Yeah.
It wasn't the dog. I think that was a lie. Sam Berkowitz had a lot of stories.
It was demon.
His neighbor's
something.
dog was
but he completely took himself out of the equation.
Oh yeah,
he's like, this isn't my fault.
Oh no. Serial killers, it's never them. It's always everybody else that has the problem.
So in the weirdest 360 back to the beginning, I'm excited for that movie. For the Michael Jackson biopic. I hope
it's exciting.
I hope they can really give it time and energy and really as a team put together something great.
I'll go to a theater to watch it.
The casting for that, jokes aside, is really going to be difficult. I mean,
think
it's
so,
going to be
too.
hard to find, especially since you have the timeline.
Right.
I mean, really 45, 46 years.
Yeah.
Of his life, he was in.
I don't know who that guy is that played Michael Jackson when he was younger. That movie, the Jackson movie, was from like the 90s, I think, like the early 90s. So like, it only had up to the Jackson 5 reunion at something in the Coca-Cola commercial, or was it Pepsi? Pepsi commercial. But I mean, like, I wonder if the actor was amazing, and I wonder what he looks like
as
now.
The little
and
kid?
I wonder if we can as like. Early 20s Michael, or like maybe like late teens Michael, that guy.
This guy.
And so I wonder what that guy looks like now, and I wonder if we can bleach his skin and have him play adult Michael now. I'm pretty sure he was African American, black. I think he was black.
Jason Weaver.
I couldn't tell you the name.
I know you won't
this
know.
This was long before I like even noticed that actors weren't the character in what they're playing.
Yeah, at this point you're like, that's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
I think I knew he was an actor, but I'm saying like I didn't know. I didn't pay attention to the names of actors.
Right, you didn't follow them.
I'd be like, oh, that's that actor from that other thing. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's Steve Carell.
Yeah,
he's in this.
Angela Bassett's in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's incredible.
Yes, she is. Let's see. I have one thing I want to end on. And if you have anything else you want to talk about? Any big news?
Nope. That's all I have right now.
All right. Well, I just something I want to talk about, and with that, kind of ties in with the Michael Jackson movie. If it's in theaters, if they don't do like a series, but you know, if it's in theaters, I've actually kind of ever since almost said Avengers 2, Avatar 2, The Way of Water, I've kind of gotten back into the mood of like going into the movie theaters again.
Yeah.
And I found this quote that James Cameron said in an interview not a long time ago. And because the whole thing with the movie theater, people always say is like, oh, that sometimes you just need that giant screen, you know? You need that screen, or you need those speakers, you need all that loud sound. You need that to like fully like, immerse yourself. And sometimes, like the movie Fury, like very loud.
Yeah.
Like very in your face.
That.
So like that one was kind of that's a good example. Like war movies are very good in theaters because like all the surround sound, like it feels like you're in the middle of it. That's what you want. Like a horror movie is like perfect in theaters because like the whole like it's in the ambiance. But James Cameron said, here's the quote right here. I'll quote him right here. Going to a movie theater. I mean, take two. Going to a movie theater is less about the size of the screen and the perfection of the sound system, and more about a decision to not multitask. You're making a deal between yourself and a piece of art to give it your full attention. And I love that. Because that truly is what it is. Because I've never been the person to have their phone on at the theater. Like, I always turn mine, like, completely off. I used to silence it. Now I'm like, you know what? If anyone has to text me or call me, they can wait. I'm doing this right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the way you have to do it. I even do that at home sometimes.
Right.
I'm kind of bad about it sometimes. It kind of depends what I'm watching. But if I'm watching a movie, I like to because I'm carving out a chunk of time to watch this. So like I want to pay attention so I don't have to watch it again because I had no idea what happened. And I don't know. It's just it's respectful.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I mean, if I'm showing something, like, imagine if I showed you like some art thing I made. And, like, the whole time I was showing you, you were just, like, looking at your phone the whole time. And I'm like, hey, check this out. And you're like, that's pretty cool, dude. Yeah. Sick. I like the blue. Yeah, dude.
The colors you used.
And I'm like, God damn it. Like, now I'm going to go jump in front of a lawnmower.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You ever seen Sinister 2? I think it's the first one, actually.
I totally agree with that. I have never gone to a movie because of the sound system, the popcorn, what I can remember, or something that pops in my mind, is when Stan Lee passed away. The first thing I thought of was how much time I spent in a dark room in a theater full of people in the middle of the night, completely entranced into this world. Like, truly so deep into that universe. Mm-hmm. And because like if you go back, what I said was like, thank you for filling so many dark rooms in my life. And it wasn't like
theaters.
Yeah, like a literal dark room.
You sent that to the TV?
Huh?
To the TV, you're saying that?
No, I sent it, or I mean, I tweeted about Stan Lee.
Oh,
he passed,
gotcha.
and I just said like, wow, this is a big one. Like I'm really sad because he filled so many dark rooms. Like,
like a sex dungeon.
Yeah, going to that physical space and giving up 2 to 3 hours is some of the best memories I have.
Oh yeah,
like truly, like some of those going to those things and hearing people cheer out loud. And
remember going to the movie theater as kids to see Cheaper by the Dozen 2, and there was nobody in the theater, so we just got to run around the whole time.
Yeah, we just ran around.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
Dude, but
That always happened to
we've
everybody.
always been
Small town theater life.
big time theater people.
Oh yeah,
And you and I
we're big movie people.
we would walk to the movies, and Mom would give us a couple bucks.
Plus, it was like the early aughts. No one gave a fuck.
And
or early. Is that what you say? Aughts? That's like 2010, right?
Oh, I have.
It was
no
early
idea.
2000s. So like, parents. It was right before parents started to care about their kids a little too much. You know what I mean? Not like they didn't care, but cared too much.
Right.
Also, there were like definitely like people picking up kids in that area.
Right.
We're talking about Marceline, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we would
at that
walk
time. I don't know if
from-
they are anymore, but like just the kids will know if they kids at Marceline know the cars.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
And the homes.
No one has to tell you.
No.
But you just get a vibe.
Right.
Kids are very fucking into it, dude.
Yeah, they're aware.
They're woke as shit, man.
I will say, just because I think this is interesting,
Mhm.
James Cameron is the second highest grossing film director ever.
He made it to the 2 billion.
Oh, he did for Avatar too?
Either that or he's at 1.91 or something.
Oh,
like,
dude.
he's good
there.
to go,
He's
dude.
there.
I
We're getting another one,
I knew it.
everybody.
The second one's supposed to have fire, and I was like, I called it. I knew it was gonna have fire. The third one, I mean. Oh, I meant the second sequel, I guess is what I meant in my
Yeah.
head. The third one, yeah, fire, a new culture. No. I think two new. There's gonna introduce fire, and then there's 2 more tribes I think that are being introduced. I think is what I heard.
And they're switching narrators. It's going to Loak, the sun.
Ooh, very cool.
Mhm.
I love this. It kind of reminds me of Dune, only because, or like Star Wars, because it just like the familial, like the generations that we're seeing. Like I feel like this next one, yeah, like the son is gonna be the next one. And then after that, like who knows? Maybe he'll be older, or it'll be his son after that.
Yeah.
I love when they do that. Like,
And
hey,
it's
by the way, a good movie to watch in theaters, Dune. The
Yeah.
new Dune
Yeah,
with
I
Timothée
agree with
Chalamet.
that.
That movie
That-
is so the
because-
ambiance. It's the ambiance for
and
me.
it's the scale.
And
Like truly the scale of the movie,
yes,
it does lend itself to a
Mhm.
theater.
highly recommend Dune. Can't wait for part 2.
Do you have a guess on who the top grossing director is of all time?
Is it Woody Allen? No.
No.
Oh, John Waters.
Mm-mm.
Is it Steven Spielberg?
It is.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I bet James Cameron, even though
Yeah.
he hasn't made, I mean, he's made
Yeah.
a lot, but I'm like, man, he's got to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Spielberg, only because he's had so many.
Surprise, surprise! The Jew makes all the money.
Oh, gosh.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on the Mellow Brick Road today. Actually, I have one last thing to say. Just a quick congratulations to Buzz Aldrin on his 4th marriage to Dr. Fowler. She's 63, PhD in chemical engineering, and the executive VP of Buzz Aldrin's company. How fun is that? So,
Wow.
all
And it was his
love.
birthday.
Was it his
So
birthday?
Happy birthday.
I think he's 93
and
now.
Congrats.
He's 93 or 94. Congrats to you. I hope you have lots of memories
Yep.
left, I guess.
Yep.
Keep going, Buzz. Don't punch any more photographers.
Keep
but
going, Buzz.
You got it, man. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on the Mellow Brick Road. If you want to send us a message or yell at us about something we did or said, just email us at mellowbrickroad.podcast@gmail.com. You can message us on Instagram at mellowbrickroad.podcast or on Facebook, which is just Mellow Brick Road.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find the podcast through our socials on Twitter, or not Twitter. Well, I guess I do have Twitter at Van Windsor Says. I don't really use it though, but you can still message me, I guess. Instagram at Van Windsor. And
Yeah,
then
you can find me at Trace Windsor on Facebook and Twitter. And then T-Dub Projects on Facebook. That's my personal or my business page.
Yep.
We sell shirts.
T-Dub.
We sell hoodies.
right there.
I just do wood projects. So come
Yeah.
join
Boom.
the
Wood project.
Yeah.
Boom.
That was like one of the first ones
Wood
ever.
project.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's literally like 3 right here.
They're all right here.
Holy crap.
Wood projects all
Yeah.
over the screen.
So come check it out. They're varied. They go all over the place. So come check it out.
yeah.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Anchor.
We love
Apple
you, Anchor. Anchor, we
Podcasts,
love you.
TuneIn, Stitcher. We're working on SoundCloud. Anywhere you listen to podcasts,
Yeah,
you're more than likely going to find us.
Yeah, I feel like Spotify and SoundCloud don't like link with their RSS
They
feeds.
don't like each other.
I think I can just upload to both of them separately.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if I have to do that, like that's fine. I'll do it. That's what I did for the first like 10 episodes anyway. I was
Right.
doing it multiple places, but like I said, yeah, message us or email us. But if you want to know about that South Park spec script. If anyone at all is interested, just send me send me like at Van Windsor on Instagram. Send me a DM, or you can email me, I guess. But just send it to me, or I guess the podcast. But it's more mine than the podcast. So
one more thing, just want to make a quick shout out to Hoopla, our favorite app. Got to make a Hoopla shout out. We were kind of away from, besides the Stephen King thing, we were kind of away from that realm. So just want to make sure we shout them out.
This is why we're doing the new thing on Patreon, the What You Read.
Yeah.
It's because
we love you.
We love Hoopla, and we love talking about Hoopla.
Yeah.
And we're always reading, so this way, so we don't constantly annoy and bore people each week with, because sometimes we're reading the same thing still.
Yeah.
And so like with the Patreon thing, we'll update when we get new books and new stuff, or we can talk about books we've already read. So that way it's just like it has its own little home. Hoopla, if you're listening, you have your own show, basically. Yeah. It's yours, because I'm only really going to do Hoopla stuff.
Yeah, an sponsored segment. You know what I mean?
Yes. Exactly.
We're
unless you want to sponsor us, please do, but like we'll do it for free forever.
Yeah.
We love
it that much.
We love you that much.
And we've honestly grabbed so many people with it. Like,
we've
had so many guests that they're like, "What's this book?
It's free." Like, it's free.
Yeah. How many downloads you get? And I don't know. It's just we love it. It's a great app.
Go to your local library. Support your local library.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. You know what Hoopla has tons of? Banned books. Lots of banned books, dude.
Good point.
You can just look them up.
Good point.
They're all digital. Yeah. Or just go to your library and ask where the banned books are. And I feel like if you did that, they wouldn't go, they're in that corner, but don't go over there.
Yeah,
I don't think they wouldn't.
How are they going to stop you?
The one in Lincoln, Nebraska, the library I went to there, they had the banned books literally like on
labeled.
It was labeled banned books.
Oh, I've seen it before.
And it was just on like a one of those spinny bookshelf thingies, and it was just like all of them. And I was like, "Oh,
that's hilarious."
I had read a lot of them, but
I love
if you want good banned books, let's see, Catcher in the Rye,
To Kill a
Mockingbird. What's another banned book?
I don't know.
Animal Farm? Is Animal Farm a banned book? 1984?
Here's like a weird meta thing. Is that Fahrenheit
451?
Is that a banned book?
I think it might be.
Because it's about banning
good
books. It's kind of a weird meta thing.
That book makes me cry.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard of a lot that get banned for just the dumbest reasons.
You know what? How about this? Instead of banned books, how about I think of books that will shake the fucking system? Read Watchmen. Read 1984. Read Animal Farm. These are all books I've already said. I'm thinking of comic books. Read V for Vendetta. Read anything Alan Moore, anything Grant Morrison. This is for the What You're Reading. We're taking up too much time. We're ending the show. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to the show. Sorry for that ear beating we just gave you about books, even though we said we weren't going to do that. Please join us next week for the next episode, even though we did that for you. Next week is
episode 34.
34, big episode for you,
We have
bud.
a special story coming for you.
Real special.
Real special.
Get ready for
Dan
that.
and I shared that story so come listen.
Get ready, everybody. Have a magical, mellow rest of your days.
Yeah, peace and blessings.